Hey Jeffrey,
Hey, Ben, how are you? Good morning from Las Vegas.
good morning from Joshua Tree.
Oh, you're not that far away.
No, no, just up the road.
Oh, well, thanks for joining me today to talk about your short film Champ. Is Drew joining us
My
today?
my pleasure. Yeah, he is joining us. Yeah, he actually, I think he tried to jump in a little earlier. He didn't see the note about pushing it 15 minutes, so he should be coming
Okay.
any sec. But yeah, no, my pleasure, man. Thanks so much for inviting us on and wanting to talk about the film.
Oh, absolutely. I enjoyed it very much. It was excellent. Thank you. You had a great
Thank you,
eye,
thank you,
great, just great production values too. It was a good story too.
thank you, thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Let
let's,
me
oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying maybe I'll shoot Drew a text. 1 second.
Okay. I said, let's just go ahead and get the interview going. And when Drew gets here, we'll just jump right in then.
Sounds good.
Uh, excellent short. And I don't want to do any spoilers because there's a great twist at the end. You totally had me fooled. You know what was going to happen. And that's what I love about short films is that I love a story told in such a short time and has such an impact. Now, when you approach a short film, is it the same way as, compared to a feature film?
I mean, well, I haven't made a feature yet. That's something that I'm hoping to do. Actually, we're in the works on a script around a feature version of the story that you see in Champ, or an expansion on that story. Um, but certainly, I try to approach it in the same way that I would approach a feature. It would, thinking about the story and really thinking about also what happens within the story outside of what's on the page and what's on the screen, because that obviously has a big impact into feeds into what the characters do in the moments that we see them in the story.
Oh, Drew is here. Let's
Cool.
get him in
Perfect
here.
timing.
Hey,
There he is.
Hey,
how we doing?
there he
Hold on.
is.
Obviously, I never do this because I never have my name on the dang thing.
You're fine, Veronica. Don't worry about it.
I'd rather be her anyway.
You're doing great. Fine. Drew, thanks for joining us this morning. I was just speaking to Ben about Champ, and thanks for joining us today. I enjoyed the film immensely. And I want to ask you, as an actor, there's no difference between a short film and a feature film. You approach with the same attitude, don't you?
100%. Absolutely. It's just there's no difference. It's the same kind of process. And what I look, I always grew up. I was an English major in college, and I love short stories. I love short form anything. You get to the point quicker, and that's kind of fits my ADD nature, I think. But yeah, I this was, the thing about this film though was it did make me feel like I want to see this feature film. It did leave me wanting more. Because we were just getting into these characters and then it was over. So that's a good sign for a film, in my opinion.
Absolutely, because this seemed like it was just a tease. It
Exactly.
seemed there was a lot more of this movie at the beginning, and there was a lot more. So Ben, take note of that. This is a lot of short films are testing grounds for a feature film too. So that could be something. Have you thought about making this a feature film, expanding on these characters?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the script wasn't written as a proof of concept for a feature. It really was written as a short story. But I think, it also changed quite considerably through the process of development. We actually tried to shoot the film twice, got shut down over COVID, which is another story. But, so the script definitely went through some evolution. And actually part of that evolution really made us realize that there's a lot more to these characters. There's a lot more potential to this story than we can fit into the short runtime.
And Drew, playing a father that bullies his son, was that something that came easy to you, or where did you find it? You're
No.
intimidating. You're an intimidating looking
No,
guy.
not at all. No, you couldn't have had a more, and I would say, speaking as the character, he doesn't feel like he's bullying his son. He's helping his son. I approached this role, the role of Danny, and I believe that that's how the guys wrote it. Is that he thinks he's trying to help him. Danny's a flawed character, but he loves his son. One of the lines that always sticks with me in the film, and it's in the trailer, which I was really happy about. But is like, your mama loves you, but she don't know you like I do. Like, he genuinely thinks that he is helping his son to reach his full potential, because that's what he knows, right? It's generational. It comes, and so, that's what's so cool about this story, and what's so interesting is you got a boy on the crossroads, and is which way is he going to go? Because there is a chance to break that cycle, but it may or may not end with him.
Right.
So that's what's so compelling. And me personally, my dad is exactly the opposite of Danny. He's 5'7" and the sweetest, most incredible human being on the planet. So,
so it was total acting. I love it.
Absolutely.
Now, and Ben, Jake is 14 and his father has tremendous influence from over at that age. It seems like Jake has no choice in this film.
You could argue that, certainly. I mean, and there's something, there an angle with this story is that just how compelling and how overpowering the influence of a parent can be. The themes that we're trying to unpack in this story really leans into that idea that, he kind of has to make that ultimate decision to get out of the car at the end, but it's still, framed within a way that really, does he really have a choice? Can he really go against his father? And I think that's something that we see exploring in more detail in a feature-length version.
Well, 14, he's old enough to know right from wrong, but still, he's still a child. He can't make his own decisions. And, casting the character of Jake with Kingston, could you find a more apple pie boy next door?
I mean, he's very impressionable, at that age, you're so impressionable. And what I really wanted to show is just how much influence things can have. How, you look up to your father as this figure of guidance and of helping you make certain decisions in life. And when Danny puts him in this situation, he really it's a huge influence over who he is. It's very difficult for him to kind of go against that.
Well, and I think he tries throughout the film, which I loved, is that there's pushback. He really stings him with the lines about the motorbike and the smoking and stuff. Like he's starting to, you can see at that age. I've got a 10-year-old, so I know a little bit about raising a boy. He's still young enough that pretty much I still walk on water. But I know there'll be a time when there'll be like a testing, and that's what happens in this film. He's testing, and then, but ultimately, when the rubber meets the road at the end of the film, what's he going to do? And you're right about Kingston. Like, what a great job casting by Ben and his team, because he does so much without saying a word.
I know. He has so much. He could see him thinking internally. That's what I thought was brilliant about his performance. Was he did a lot without saying much, Right. So, but again, without any spoilers, the ending, I was not expecting that whatsoever. I thought it was a completely different thing. So, and Drew, I love you in Gotham,
Thanks.
And I also interviewed the cast of Leverage Redemption a few weeks ago. So those guys, they're a great team. So you did a good job there too. So
thank you. I love that show and I love those people. So I'm hoping we get to do more.
Well, Ben, congratulations on a great short film. Get to work on the feature, because I think I want to see that film too. So
thank you. Yeah. We're working on it.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
You bet. Take care, guys, and come visit us in Las Vegas, man. We'd love to have you.
Sounds good.